Hey y'all, Salvia, tropical sage, is coming up everywhere in my garden, and I'm here for it. It's coming up between my patio stones, in my wildflower garden, in my milkweed garden, in my pentas garden, in my zinnia pots. It's just everywhere. And I have pulled it out before. I mean, I did a video last year where I pulled it out because it was all over the wildflower garden. But now I'm working with it. I'm going to show you how I'm doing that and some of the things that I tried to do to get rid of some of it. Let's go. Tropical sage, or salvia, is a Florida native plant, and in my garden I have it in red, pink, and white. It is a pollinator favorite. Bees love these plants, and butterflies do too. Speaking of butterflies, there's a Gulf fritillary flying around. This is my salvia bed, and it comes right behind my tea bushes, and it is just on the other side of the walkway that I put in. And just on the other side of that is my wildflower garden that extends all the way down to the flower garden. These are prolific flowers because they make lots of seeds, and they are the dried pieces that you can just wring your hands down and scatter. So they are dispersed by gravity and occasionally a wind, so they can end up all over your garden. I haven't really super maintained this section of my garden, so we're gonna do a little work in this garden and get it maintained, and then I'm gonna show you all the ones I've gathered up, how I gathered them, and what I'm gonna do with them. I don't know if you can see in the background that there's a lot of tiny Cassius blue butterflies fluttering around. They love the salvia, and I also have their host plant in my garden, which is the Florida native plumbago. One way to maintain them, which I need to be better at, is to regularly deadhead them with my favorite Felco pruners that I have in my Amazon links below if you want to check them out. So what you would do is the plants that are spent, which look like, see these, they're starting to brown, but they're not brown all the way. You want to trim back those stems that are fully brown, like this one back here. You would just snip off and let them fall. So they'll fall straight down and either reseed or decompose into the soil to put nutrients back. And if you're really good and consistent about trimming these down and letting them fall where they are, they will stay where they are. But if you're not really consistent, they will blow and scatter everywhere in your garden. But you might want them everywhere in your garden, and that's okay. They are coming up everywhere in my garden, and I have decided to love it and just let it be because the bees love it, and my garden is designed for butterflies, but for everyone else too. Bees, birds, other pollinators. And with regular trimming, you see this one right here, they'll branch out and they'll become fuller and more dense. Another cool thing about them is that they bloom all year long. So when your wildflower garden down there, many of those plants go dormant, your little salvias that have come up in there with all your other native plants, they'll still bloom and flower for the pollinators. So I don't mind having them scattered in my wildflower garden. They're just not allowed to take over. And also by regularly trimming them and letting the seeds drop, sometimes you'll have like some little empty spaces that you can make sure those seeds get down there, and then maybe you'll have some babies coming up. Because really, when you look at them, they are gorgeous flowers. Okay, long, short story time. Our garage ceiling is falling down, and we have to have the whole ceiling replaced. And that's a little expense right there. Not the fun kind of expense where you can like, oh, I've got a new garage ceiling. But we had to take everything out, like of the attic above and in the garage. So then we had this huge accumulation of stuff. My husband's like, oh, we could have a yard sale. I'm like, no, we can just donate it, or better yet, get those little dumpsters and put one in the driveway and just put it all in there. Because I like going to yard sales, but I do not like having them. So at that same time, all of the salvias were coming up all over the patio. And so I thought, well, I'm going to dig them up and pot them up. And I'll see if the nectary wants them, which she didn't, because she has tons of them, because they come up everywhere. So now I have all these little potted salvias, and my husband's like, oh, we can sell them in the yard sale. And I was like, great idea. And then all of it became so overwhelming, we decided to just donate all the stuff to the thrift store. So now I have all these little potted salvias. What am I going to do with them? And here they are. I have 3 trays of them. There's another one down on the end. And it's like, do I need that many? Well, no, but we're going to do something with them. And look, they're all, yeah. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to trim them all down. So get all of these off of them. Actually, I'll probably go scatter these in my existing bed. And after I do that, then I'll show you where they're going to go. I found a good place for them. I really did. Okay. This is all the tops of all of them that I just trimmed. And now I'm back over here in my existing salvia bed. And I'm just going to, see this empty spot down here? I'm just gonna, shake all those seeds off in there. And a little bit later, I'll give it a good water. And you guys, when you're trimming your plants, just put them back down in your garden. Think of all that you throw in a trash can, the yard waste, like that was all created by your soil and the sun and the seed. Put it back in the earth. Don't send it away. Don't deplete all the nutrients in your garden soil. Just drop it back down there and let it go back in to make more. Yeah, this is my tea bush. And there are things flying all over it, but I just want to show you. There's a little bee here in his little hip pockets. Let me find him. His little hip pockets are full of pollen. You see them? They're yellow. This is so cute. Can you see all the things flying around this bush? You should get a tea bush. Like if you are into native gardening, look at this thing. And you can apparently make tea out of it too. I don't like tea, so I don't. But pollinators absolutely love them. And it's a beautiful color. It's a really pale, leaf with the flower, the little lilac-y colored flower. It's beautiful, but can you just see all the little things flying around? It's like constant buzz of action on this thing, which is right next to my salvias. So they're a nice combination as well. Okay, my little potted salvias all got their little buzz cut and they are ready for their new home. So let's go reveal where they're going to go in my garden. Okay, here we are right back to my tea bush. This is what I call my runway strip. It goes all the way down the middle of my yard. And y'all, if you're new here, my name is Susan and I'm a butterfly gardener. My entire backyard has been turned into a garden devoted to all different types of butterflies, but pollinators as well. And I also have incorporated a large number of native plants in my garden. So this is my runway. And then here is my pathway. And then here is the space in front of my garden room. Look at that. We're gonna fly over it. Look, my little camera's becoming a drone. Look at all the empty space. And look, there's already some salvias in here and lots of empty space and a fire bush and some more salvias and lots of empty space. Hello, this section is screaming to be filled in, because why would I go buy plants and spend money when I have a gazillion tropical sage plants ready to go right in this space? Let's do it. I mean, look how ugly that is. Remember at the beginning of the year, I made that video and I said, well, you're gonna find all the little empty, ugly spots in the garden and take care of them. Imagine when this is full of salvias, like the section right behind me. That's gonna be fabulous. I'm just gonna let these fall so they can reseed. And then this one right in front of my face, I'm gonna let it stay tall because it looks really lush and green, so it's happy here, but I'm gonna just trim back all the... And see this back here? My dogs always dig back here, so we're taking all that rock that is in that walkway that I'm getting rid of, that I talked about a few videos ago, and I'm just taking shovelfuls of it and laying it in back here, which will keep them from digging, and it'll be a nice background. And the salvias are all here. See, you won't see it. Camouflage the ugly. Okay, look at how great the root system is. These are my pop-up planters that I absolutely love. They are linked below in my Amazon links. I'll put them up in this video section along with the Felco pruners. So you just really can, I'm doing this one-handed. You just push it up and the whole plant just pops out, and then you can reuse your pot and you have this little cutie ready to go, and you didn't have to like do a lot of work to get it unstuck from its pot. I love those things. I have a whole bunch of them. So now this little guy can just go in the ground. Fabulous. Okay, I'm gonna go get the rest of them in. We'll be back. All right, I got one tray of plants in, and it doesn't look like much, but when this grows in and it's all full, this area right here will look like this, and it will be gorgeous. And it didn't cost me any money. I didn't have to buy any new plants because I already had them. I just had to make wise use of them. So let me tell you a couple of things about these guys. And we have to do it quick because the storms are coming, which is fabulous because we need the rain, but it's cutting my filming time short. So when you find these guys coming up somewhere in your garden where you didn't plan for them to be, like between your patio stones, you just dig them up and put them in a little pot and set them somewhere, and they're gonna look like they're suffering greatly. They're gonna lean over, they're gonna say, oh, we're not gonna make it, and you're just going to ignore them and let them be, and one day they'll pop right back up and look all fine and happy. And once their roots are nice and established in your little pot, then you just go stick them in your garden where you actually want them. So here's where I am on this project, but due to the darkening skies, I'm not going to plant all of them right now, but I think you get the idea. And hopefully they'll grow up and be beautiful in one of my garden tours, and then I can show you and I'll say, remember when we planted these a few videos ago? But meanwhile, I'm going to clean up my stuff, and whew, I was going to do, well, let's just do it now. A quick walk through the garden just so you can see how it's growing. There is a monarch still out flying around. They need to just go roost. Usually butterflies will go roost in a tree and they'll just hang. They'll hang on till the storm blows over. Don't you love how I have Amazon boxes in my garden? Yes, that's me. But in the meantime, as we're walking around the circle of my garden, as the storm approaches, if you don't already subscribe to my channel, subscribe. And if you're enjoying this video, tap the like button. And if you want to help support the cause of getting more butterfly habitats in more backyards, then become a channel member and join the Milkweed Crew for $4.99 a month. That's not even a cup of coffee anymore. Well, I guess it depends on where you buy it. All right, I'm heading in. I'll see you all in the next video.